From Central Washington University's campus, it's the 2011 KYVE Apple Bowl. The best of the best competing from 21 area high schools. Presented by the Washington Apple Education Foundation and these participating underwriters. Now your host, Pedro Bicchieri.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. The 2011 KYVE Apple Bowl quarterfinal contest between LaSalle and Moses Lake. I'm your host, Pedro Bicchieri, and we'll meet today's players before we get started.
I'm Daniel Noteboom. I'm a senior at Moses Lake High School, and this is my first year at Apple Bowl.
My name is Jordan Pope. I'm a senior at Moses Lake High School, and this is my second year at Apple Bowl.
My name is Daniel Culver. I am also a senior at Moses Lake High School, and this is my second year at Apple Bowl.
My name is Libby Young. I'm a senior at LaSalle High School, and this is my third year at Apple Bowl.
My name is Jacob O'Connor. I'm a junior at LaSalle High School, and this is my third year at the Apple Bowl.
My name is Mike McCarthy. I'm a junior at LaSalle High School, and this is my third year at the Apple Bowl.
All right, contestants, get your fingers on the buzzers. We'll get started with the toss-up round. First category, provinces. Which is first on an alphabetical list of Canadian provinces? Jordan, Moses Lake.
British Columbia.
Sorry, not correct. LaSalle? Libby.
Alberta.
Alberta is the correct answer. Military groups. Which military group is associated with a hymn beginning from the halls of Montezuma? Jordan.
The Marine Corps.
That's correct. Streets. In 1644, the Dutch built a wall across Manhattan. Jordan, Moses Lake.
Wall Street.
Correct. To keep out the Indians and the British, named the lane running along the inside of the barrier. Sentence subjects. Name the simple subject of this sentence. Brightly colored canoes went from one island to another during the summer. Jacob LaSalle.
Canoes.
That's correct. During the summer festival on Monk's Lake. Theater. In theater, the phrase big time often indicates what thoroughfare in New York City? Jordan, Moses Lake.
Broadway.
That is correct answer. Taking care of undesirables. The payment given to individuals who kill animals believed to be harmful or undesirable. Michael LaSalle.
Poachers.
I'm sorry, not correct. I'll finish the question for you, Moses Lake. Such as coyotes or nutria is called a... Correct answer is bounty. A bounty. Diseases. What disease is described below? It usually begins gradually. The first sign is stiffness of the jaw and esophageal muscles. Soon the jaws become rigidly fixed, the voice is altered, and facial muscles contract. Yes, Libby LaSalle.
Lockjaw.
That's correct. Lockjaw or tetanus. 14th century. This 14th century account indicates what disease? Daniel Moses Lake.
Black Plague.
That's correct. So great a terror seized nearly everyone that no sooner had an ulcer or a swelling appeared on someone, usually in the groin or the armpit, that the victim was deprived of all help and abandoned. Automobile history. A 1996 history of the Volkswagen Company depicts in detail just how completely the company was originally a creature of what political party? Jordan, Moses Lake.
The Nazi Party.
That's the correct answer. Hobson's choice. Since the split resulting from a civil war in 1949, Beijing has given what island the choice of eventual... Daniel Moses Lake.
Taiwan.
Correct. Of eventual reunification or war. American prose. In The Last of the Mohicans, we find Natty Bumppo in the middle of what war? Yes, Libby LaSalle.
The French and Indian War.
That's a correct answer. Numeration history. Mathematicians of what ancient civilization devised a counting system from which we get the number of minutes in an hour? Daniel Moses Lake.
The Romans.
I'm sorry, that's not correct. I'll finish the question for you, LaSalle. And the degrees in a circle. Yes, Jacob.
Mesopotamia.
I'm sorry, correct answer, Babylonia. Ancient floods. Archaeological evidence around Ur indicates that water in an area about 400 miles long and 100 miles wide inundated entire cities along what two major rivers? Yes, Jordan, Moses Lake.
The Tigris and Euphrates.
That's the correct answer. Astronomical theories. What theory for the origin of the universe suggests that all matter was once concentrated in a single unstable mass? Michael LaSalle.
The Big Bang Theory?
That is correct. Deceleration. You are cruising along at 50 miles per hour When you notice a bull elk in the middle of the road some distance ahead, you mash the brakes and come to a complete stop in 3 seconds. What was your average acceleration in miles per hour per second? Yes, Daniel, most likely.
16 2/3 mile per hour per second.
I'm sorry, it's not correct. LaSalle, would you like to try? Yes, Michael.
20 miles per second?
I'm sorry, that's not correct either. Daniel, your math was impeccable, but it was negative. It's a negative deceleration. It's a deceleration. So negative 16.7. Governmental crisis, or crises. The most serious crisis in American government since the impeachment of Andrew Johnson occurred in the 1970s. Jordan, Moses Lake.
Watergate.
That's correct. Name the scandal that precipitated this crisis. Quotes. The man who wrote these words in 1945 was in what city? Beyond the zone of utter death in which nothing remained alive, houses collapsed in a whirl of beams, bricks, and girders. Miles from the center of the explosion, houses were flattened. Jacob LaSalle.
What is Hiroshima?
That's correct. Dance. Identify the competitive acrobatic dance in which a dancer bends backward from the knees and moves under a horizontal pole. DC, most likely.
Limbo.
That's correct, at progressively lower heights. Flags. The flag of what Southeast Asian nation is a yellow star on a red background? Yes, Michael LaSalle.
Vietnam?
That's correct. Purchases. The most northwestern part of the Louisiana Purchase included land in what modern state? Yes, Jacob LaSalle.
What is Alaska?
I'm sorry, not correct. Moses Lake, would you like to try? Yes, Jordan.
What is Montana?
Montana's correct. Whopper organisms. What life form was discovered in the state of Washington in 1992 with an estimated age of 1,000 years and covering an area of 1,483 acres, making it the largest living organism on Earth? Jordan Mosley.
A mushroom?
I'm sorry, mushroom is not the correct answer, LaSalle. Michael?
A fungus?
Was the timing work on that?
He's good, yeah.
Okay, the correct answer is fungus.
Okay.
Okay. Art forms. Name the printmaking technique in which a design is traced on a flat wooden surface and then all those parts of the wood. Michael LaSalle.
An impression?
That's not correct. I can finish the question for you, Moses Lake. And all those parts of the wood not inked are cut away. It's a woodcut. A woodcut. Monarchies. What adjective describes a monarchy in which the monarch has total power? Jacob LaSalle.
Totalitarian?
I'm sorry, not correct. Moses Lake. Yes, Jordan.
Absolute.
Absolute is the correct answer. Nicely done. Trade barriers. And in international trade, trade barriers that nations place on the quantity of imports or exports. Daniel Mosley.
Tariffs?
I'm sorry, not correct. LaSalle, I'll finish the question for you. On the quantity of imports or exports of specific goods are called what? Yes, Michael.
Partial embargo?
I'm sorry, not correct. The looked-for answer was quotas. Atmospheric studies. Many theorists say that 4 billion years ago, the Earth's atmosphere was composed of mainly methane and what other? Daniel Mosley.
Hydrogen?
I'm sorry, it's not correct. I'll finish the question. What other deadly gas? Yes, Jacob.
Chlorine?
I'm sorry, not correct. Ammonia. Ammonia is the answer. Flags. On some early New England flags was a pine tree with a serpent coiled around the trunk. Michael LaSalle.
Don't tread on me?
That's correct. Below the design were the words, "Don't tread on me." Colonels. He was a lieutenant colonel in the Revolutionary War and Attorney General of New York. He was a senator in 1791 and vice president in 1801. He was charged with treason, but... Jordan Mosley.
Alexander Burr.
I'm sorry, that's not the correct answer. Let me finish the question for you, LaSalle. He was charged with treason, but acquitted. Who was he? Michael.
Aaron Burr?
Aaron Burr is correct. You should thank Jordan for the tip on that one. Astronomical categories. Astronomers say these are the 4 main classifications of what? Irregular, barred, elliptical, spiral. DC Mosley.
Orbits.
I'm sorry, not correct. LaSalle? Libby.
Galaxies.
Galaxies is correct. And we have a tie score again. Plurals. Spell the plural of tableau. Daniel, most late.
Tableaus.
That's correct. Or S or X would both be acceptable. Good job. That was a tough one. Ornamentation. A strip of fabric that covers the sides of a bed or the top of a window frame. Michael LaSalle.
Drapes?
Sorry, not correct. Most Lake, do you want to try? Yes, DC.
Curtain.
Sorry, correct answer, valence. Valence. There's an interior decorating term for you. Geothermal energy. What capital city is entirely heated by underground hot springs? This will be Reykjavik, Iceland. Circulatory system. Arterial blood is bright red. What adjective describes bluish? Daniel, most likely.
Deoxygenated?
I'm sorry, I'll continue, although it's almost the end of the question. Describes bluish blood. LaSalle. The answer is Venus. Venous. Venus or Venus. Both are correct. The Supreme Court. The Supreme Court opened its first session in 1790. Judges wore gowns of black and scarlet, but in honor of Jefferson's request, they did not wear what that was said to, quote, make the English judges look, Michael LaSalle.
Powdered wigs?
That's correct. That said to, quote, make the English judges look like rats peeping through bunches of oakum. Weather modification. The sprinkling of silver iodide crystals, Jacob LaSalle?
Cloud seeding.
That's correct. Into clouds to increase precipitation is called seeding. All right, end of the first round. Great contest, you guys. Look forward to seeing the rest of it. But before we get to that, let's take a minute and learn a little bit more about today's players. Okay, Moses Lake. Daniel, we got down here. You like track, naps, and eating.
Yeah. Track, and I just like working out in general, but track and eating go together, and also naps too, because track makes me tired and hungry. So.
What do you do in track? What are your events?
I've been in the long distance, and the middle, 800, the mile, and the 2 mile.
Actually, do you also do cross country?
No, this is my first year actually.
I
I just mostly swam before, but I like it.
I see. Well, congratulations. And Jordan, let's see. You like TV shows Entourage and Mad Men.
Yeah, they're. I really like their plots. Like I've watched every episode of both of them, and they're just really interesting. Like Mad Men, it like gives you like a experience of like how it was in the 1960s. And I thought that was really interesting.
It was interesting, and I remember I think last time around you said that you sort of stay glued to Netflix. So I
Yeah.
guess you're sort of continuing the theme there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how we forget how much cigarette smoking people used to do inside.
Yeah, it's
And drinking scotch, I guess. DC, spend your time either reading or playing Call of Duty.
Yep, I figure if I'm going to help my brain one way, I better destroy it the other.
There you go. That's achieving balance, I
Yeah,
guess.
got to keep it in balance.
And what do you read? What kind of stuff?
I like to read fiction. Stephen Lahed and Ted Dekker, they're two of my favorite authors. So.
I see. Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks for coming today. LaSalle, Libby, you like to make and edit movies?
Yeah. Well, it started out kind of freshman, sophomore year. My friends and I would make movies of books we'd read in class, like The Odyssey or Of Mice and Men. And then recently, as teachers kind of found out that that's what I like to do, it kind of expanded, and I actually got to make a promotional video for my elementary school.
That's
so I
great.
thought that was pretty cool.
Well, congratulations. I know that's fun. I do a little bit of that sometimes myself. Jacob, you have a sickle cell trait, and you like to perform.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about one or both of those?
Okay. Well, sickle cell trait is a genetic disease. It's most prevalent in African Americans generally. And I only have the trait, which means I only have one gene for the disease, so only a few of my red blood cells are affected. And if you have the full disease, it means the blood cells sometimes get trapped in the veins and it can cause clots, and it's really dangerous. But the reason this disease came about was it also prevents you from getting malaria.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, so you're malaria proof.
Well,
Maybe.
more or less.
Okay.
Mostly.
Right. All right, and Michael, you wrote that you like sports and getting in shape, running, lifting weights. That's a hobby for you?
It's just something I enjoy. I like the feeling afterwards when you're tired, but you're not tired because you just woke up 10 minutes ago and it's like 1 o'clock, but you're
Right.
tired because you did something and, you know, you worked hard at it.
Did you mean 1 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yeah, you know, sometimes
Okay.
sometimes you need
Your
to do
parents
that.
might be watching. But they probably already know that.
Sometimes you need to do that.
All right, I understand. Okay, and today's coaches, Brother Dan Morgan for LaSalle and Brooke Frederick for Moses Lake. Okay, lightning round. Moses Lake, you get your choice of these 4 categories. Here we go. Words beginning with K, psychology, decimals to fractions, and United States cities.
We'll take decimals to fractions.
Okay. Here we go. Please convert the following decimals into fractions. Express all fractions in lowest terms. 0.26.
1350s.
13/50ths,
That's correct. 0.85.
1720s.
17/20ths,
Correct. 0.006.
3500s.
3/500ths,
That's correct. 0.024.
3/125.
3/125,
Yeah, I believe that's correct. They have 6 over 250, but that would be more simple, wouldn't it? 0.48.
12/25.
12/25,
That's correct. 0.92.
9/25.
9/25,
Sorry, 23 over 25. 0.03125.
pass,
Okay, 1 over 32. 0.375.
3/8.
3/8,
Correct. 0.0004.
1 over 2,500.
That would have been correct. I'm sorry, it's too late, but you did a great job on that. LaSalle, would you like me to repeat the categories?
Can we just take the letter or words beginning with K?
You bet. Please identify the following things, places, people, or ideas. Each correct answer begins with the letter K. The United States Secretary of State from 1973 to 77, he received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1973.
Pass.
That would be Henry Kissinger. The Mongol leader who became famous in the West as a result of Marco Polo's writings.
Kubla Khan.
That's correct. The rock that occurs in pipes in South Africa and usually contains diamonds.
Pass.
Kimberlite. An explosive force equivalent to 1,000 tons of dynamite.
Kiloton.
Correct. A whole seed of a cereal.
Pass.
Kernel. Small stone building in the court of the Great Mosque at Mecca that contains a sacred stone.
Kaaba.
That is correct. The Czech author who wrote The Trial.
Pass.
That would be Kafka. Severe malnutrition in children that is caused by a diet high in carbohydrates and low in protein.
Pass.
Kwashiorkor. The citadel of a Russian city.
Pass.
That's the Kremlin, and a crusty roll often used to make a sandwich is a Kaiser roll. All right, you guys want me to repeat those? Or?
we'll take the U.S. cities.
Okay. Please identify the United States state in which each pair of the following cities is located. Ogden and Provo.
Utah,
Correct. Emporia and Coffeyville.
pass,
Kansas. Sheboygan and Eau Claire.
Illinois,
Sorry, Wisconsin. Morgantown and Harper's Ferry.
West Virginia,
Correct. Asheville and Greensboro.
North Carolina,
Correct. Valdosta and Macon.
Georgia,
Correct. Camden and Newark.
Massachusetts,
Sorry, New Jersey. Utica and Schenectady.
pass,
New York. Sturgis and Sioux Falls.
South Dakota,
Correct. And San Luis Obispo and Stockton.
California.
That's correct. All righty. LaSalle, we have for you the remaining category, psychology.
Right.
Please answer the following questions associated with the study of psychology. Psychological therapy in which the client says whatever comes to his or her mind.
Pass.
Free association. Group of drugs that speed up the nervous system.
Amphetamines.
Sorry, stimulants. Stage of sleep associated with vivid dreams.
REM sleep.
That is correct. According to Freud, this is the part of a person's psyche that determines right from wrong.
Conscience.
Sorry, the superego. Type of conditioning in which the subject's responses are reinforced to produce the desired effects.
Pass.
Operant conditioning. Letter that is added to the word type to describe a person who handles stress well.
Type A.
I'm sorry, type B is the correct answer. Undeserved negative beliefs about people based on their group membership.
Stereotypes.
I'm sorry, prejudice is the correct
Prejudice,
answer. The highest level on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it is the desire to realize one's fullest potential.
Pass.
Self-actualization. The psychologist. Okay, we'll end right there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and jump into the toss-up bonus round. And I think you guys by now know how to do this, so we'll just get started with the circulatory system. Which blood vessels have these characteristics? Thin walls with little elasticity. Daniel, Moses Lake.
Capillaries?
I'm sorry, not correct. I'll finish the question for you, LaSalle. Valves, little muscle, carry blood to the heart. Jacob.
Arteries?
Sorry, veins is the correct answer.
Oh.
Constellations. What constellation appears as a gigantic and slightly deformed W in the summer skies, DC, Moses Lake?
Cassiopeia.
That's correct. In the summer skies of the northern hemisphere. Bonus question category, acid, base, terminology. Please identify the following terms associated with acids and bases. 1. Term that describes an acid or base that completely disassociates when placed in water. 2. The negative log of the hydronium ion concentration of a solution. 3. The two products of a neutralization reaction between an acid and a base. And 4. An acid solution that has been weakened significantly by mixing it with water. Okay, answers please, Captain.
The number 1 soluble.
Sorry, strong.
pH.
Correct.
Pass.
Water and a salt.
Diluted.
Dilute, I believe that's correct. That answer works. Here we go.
Sorry.
Parks. Name the 3 American national parks in the lower 48 states that span the continental divide. Jordan.
Glacier National Park, Yellowstone National Park, and Rocky Mountain. I don't know.
I'm sorry, LaSalle? Boy, were you close. If you'd have finished saying Rocky Mountain National Park, you'd have had it. So there you go. The House of Representatives. The House of Representatives. Since 1911, the number of representatives in the United States, Jordan, Moses Lake.
435.
I'm sorry, that's not the correct answer. LaSalle, I'll finish the question for you. Has remained constant at 435, except for a temporary increase to 437 in 1959. What accounted for that increase? That would be the admission of Alaska and Hawaii. Mucus. Your upper respiratory tract is clogged with mucus. This symptom is called what? Michael LaSalle.
Sinus congestion?
Congestion is the correct answer. Bonus question category is geography, countries, and lakes. Please identify the largest country in terms of area that borders each one of the following lakes. 1. Aral Sea. 2. Dead Sea. 3. Lake Baikal. 4. Lake Titicaca. Okay, answers please, Captain.
Pass. On the first one.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yes, okay, pass. Kazakhstan, apologize.
Israel.
Sorry, Jordan.
Pass.
Okay, Russia.
And pass.
Okay, and that would be Peru. Here we go, another toss-up. Theories. What is this about? One idea is they began as cellular organisms but lost their cell structures as they became, Michael LaSalle.
Viruses?
That's correct, as they became parasitic. Another is that they are the non-cellular ancestors of cellular organisms, and a third is they're pieces of nucleic acid detached from cells. Here we go. Bonus question category is trigonometry. Please solve the following problems involving trigonometric functions. 1. The tangent of 180 degrees plus the cosine of 270 degrees. 2. The sine of negative 30 degrees times the cosecant of negative 150 degrees. 3. The secant of 240 degrees times the tangent of 135 degrees. And 4. The cotangent of 225 degrees plus the secant of 60 degrees. Okay, answers please, Captain.
Just pass on all of them.
Okay, 1 is 0, 2 is 1, 3 is 2, and 4 is 3. Here we go. Auroras. Electrified particles ejected from sunspots are attracted to the poles, causing a visible electrical disturbance. DC Moses Lake.
Aurora Borealis.
I'm sorry, it's not correct. I'll finish the question for you, LaSalle. The resulting display in the southern hemisphere is the aurora. Yes, Jacob.
Coriolis.
I'm sorry, Australis. All right, well, congratulations to you, Moses Lake. You'll be moving on to the semifinal round. LaSalle, you guys did an awesome job. You did a really great job. Thank you very much, and thanks for joining us at the 2011 KYVE Apple Bowl. I'm your host, Peter McCurry, and we'll see you again next time.
KYVE Apple Bowl is presented by the Washington Apple Education Foundation
and these participating underwriters.